What's up, Sword? What's going on, Remus? Shouldn't be. Can you hear me? What's going on, Sandrin? Just gonna be working on my base today. Me and Hidden added a few things to it last night. Teamwork makes the dream work, baby. What we got here? We got Turtle Duck in the chat. What's going on, dude? Well, happy birthday to your wife. I'm pretty merry already. Hell yeah, dude. That's the way to do it. Whoa, who's this guy? Dude can't fly. Walked right into the wall. Just giving you guys a quick tour of what I've been working on. So obviously, this isn't anywhere near done yet, but it should just kind of give you some idea of what I'm going for. So I'm going to be having like these support beams that sort of come up out of the water underneath the structure, so they don't look so odd just sort of floating there. So there's a lot of work to be done yet. Obviously got my little Central Park area. Got my boardwalk entrance with the palm trees. Over here, these little sort of what looks like piers, piers that go out. There's going to be wooden huts at the end of those, and sort of like the resort in Fiji and in the Maldives with holes at the bottom that go right through the water. So. I wonder if this guy running over here is a friendly. He might try to kill me. I don't know who this is. Get you a submarine, bud. Oh, let me make sure people can't delete anything off my base. Alright, there we go. Turtle Duck says awesome, awesome base. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Parties are the best. There is cake. Indeed, Remus. I agree. 100%. Sword says base looks awesome. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. This is the first base that I've built since No Man's Sky Next. Alright, this guy might be a friendly. Yes, Sanderin, that's what I'm going for, dude. That's legit what I'm going for. Sanderin says, I don't think now we should get the Vibrant Nebula instead of the ones. I do think now we should get the Vibrant Nebula instead. Yeah. I still kind of like that idea. I just happened to come across this. I think it was Marty Merrick that found it. But I just happened to come across this really cool, like, orange colored system that was just really kind of took my breath away. And I was like, maybe Sanderin's onto something. You know what I mean? So this should kind of give you some idea here of what's happening, or kind of what I'm going for. This main part that I'm flying over right here, this is going to actually build up vertically towards the back quite high, and it's going to be the main sort of resort complex. So I don't know if anybody's sort of, gone to like resorts or all-inclusives in the Caribbean or whatever, but like, Coco Bay Resort in Antigua or like Fiji, the Maldives, you'll have like your main resort area, and then you'll have like these personal, private huts that kind of go out that are a little bit more secluded and, just sort of out there as opposed to being in like a main hotel. So we're kind of going for the whole resort vibe. I just think it'd be a really cool feature for the Capital Planet. So that we'll have like an actual sort of hotel kind of thing going on right there with these little huts, and then these premium villas with a boat access at the bottom, or ocean access at least. So, and Hidden has also officially slapped down a base computer as well at a really cool location. Let's see if I can take you guys there. As a matter of fact, what he does with it. Ooh, the popping it so bad right there. Come on, land. Oh, there we go. Jesus. Why won't it let me land? And earlier, my game actually wouldn't even start at all. It was like on the galaxy screen where it just kept like loading. It did that like 3 or 4 times before I could finally get the game to kick off. So way back, whenever John Hall moved his Rainbow Sherbert base here, I was scouting locations for a base, but I wanted mine to be sort of near the ocean or over the ocean. Because at the time I had figured the next update would probably have something to do with the ocean or whatever. So I sort of like picked this spot as a really good place. But there just wasn't enough water here, so I was like, well, somebody will get a kick out of this location probably. So let me just slap up a comm ball and, you know. But what I like in particular for this location is one, just the way that the planet looks from here. Yeah, that's actually my comm ball. You've got like a little outpost right here. These guys sort of like running around everywhere. But it's just like really cool sort of views. You know, all the trees, got mountains, this crashed freighter that's right here, right alongside the lake. And then Hidden is going to be building his structure just right over there. So it's just going to be interesting to see what he's able to slap together, because I think in terms of just like a viewpoint, this is just a really good spot. I love the way it looks. And then obviously for anybody that might want to sort of copy or mimic what Sword did with his base here on this planet, or his farm rather, that mountain right there has a really cool view, and it's completely flat on the top, and it's a good overlook spot too. So depending on how badass Hidden builds his structure, that would be another cool spot to slap down a base that sort of overlooks his build, this crashed freighter, that planet off in the distance. I think that the whole thing is just really cool. So I'm glad this area is starting to kind of finally populate now with everything. So we've got Marty in this system. We've got John Hall. We've got Stark Wolf. We've got Sword, myself, Hidden. Somebody else I can't remember is also here. So I would like to see different types of crashed freighters. It's always the same one with the ring on the front. Oh shit, we got Funny Imps in the chat. What's going on, Funny Imps? Glad to have you here, man. Let me know how that is, Turtle Duck. To be honest, I actually haven't seen the first Creed movie. I've seen the Rockies. I've just not seen Creed. But let me know how Creed 2 is. I heard Creed 1 was excellent, so. This is that mountain I was talking about. Or maybe that one back there might be a better view. Yeah, that's a cool one. That's a cool view right there. Alright, time to go back home and work on the base. We got John Hall in the chat. What's going on, John, man? Glad to see you here. Slade Braddock, what? What's going on, Slade? P1 stream in the chat says hello. What's going on? We got Stark Wolf. What's going on, Stark? Slade, are you at work? Are you working and lurking? Or are you home, man? I'm gonna let that pop in for a second. I haven't been using too many windows or anything, like, so I hope the complexity's not being, at least not till that back piece gets built. That's gonna have a shit ton of windows. I haven't. This is the first base I've built since it updated to No Man's Sky Next, and now the Abyss. So I'm not sure how the complexity limits and shit work with this new update. John Hall, Hidden is your neighbor, man. He Hidden put a base computer down not too far from where your farm is. You guys are in close proximity, relatively. You know, obviously this is an entire planet. He's not that close, but compared to, you know, the distance between you and I, or the distance between you and Sword and Stark Wolf's base, Hidden is very close to you, and he's pretty good at building shit. So it's gonna, I'm telling you, it's gonna be interesting to see what that guy puts together. We were helping each other last night with just sort of acquiring materials for which to, you know, work on this build here. I don't know why that tree's missing. That really bugs me. One of my trees disappears every time. I don't know why. I really do need carbon though. So matter of fact, I'm probably going to go jump over to one of Hidden's bases. He has a ton of carbon trays at this one base. Just going to go there and grab some carbon. I need to replace that tree. Nautilon roll this Sunday. Hell yeah, dude. We got Fallen Hunter in the chat. What's going on, dude? Thanks for stopping by. Just got off work. Got to take the nephew to baseball practice. Okay. If I'm still streaming when you get back, feel free to, you know, jump in a party chat with me if I'm still going. My wife's not feeling too good, so she might be coming home from work early. Let's see how long this takes to load. I hope it doesn't get stuck like it did last time. I've watched other people's streams, and I'm running a PS4 Pro, and I've watched other people's streams, and like their load times are way less than mine. I feel like my load times take a long time. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. I'm doing good. Fallen. It's my off day. I have 3 this week because I had to take a day off for a wedding. Which is nice because this time of year, my work is really busy, so I kind of need the break. I've been working a lot, putting a lot of hours in. But, yeah, I'm off today, and then I'm off Thursday and Friday. Unfortunately, I can't be off Saturday or Sunday. Sadly. But... see what I'm talking about? Watch this thing not load up. It's done this to me already. Whew, I was getting concerned for a moment. I still have a lot of memory left, Sword. I don't have my memory usage isn't the problem. I've got tons of available memory here. My console's it's got 1 terabyte, and games I'm not actively playing I delete. So I've got a lot of that terabyte available. How the hell do I get out of here? There we go. God, the entrance to Hidden Space is so gnarly. Like... what? Nothing's there. He probably doesn't have this one uploaded. Damn. I'll give it a second. It could be that the poppin's just going to be real rough on this planet. Because if the exocraft geobays are there, the base has to show up. It's not. Fallen Hunter says, so got a question about it. Is it worth it? No Man's Sky, that is. Could be, John Hall, but I keep the vent ports and stuff clean, make sure that there's no dust and things like that from the whatnot that are preventing, you know, proper airflow. Plus the cabinet I have it in has airflow coming through the front and the back, and I keep my apartment pretty chilly. I keep my apartment like around 67 degrees or so. So, Fallen Hunter, to answer your question, absolutely. Yeah, it's totally worth it. The game's always been worth it. I'll put it to you this way. The game has been out for over 2 years, and it's received many patches, a series of big updates and overhauls, and there's lots of people, actually, a big percentage of the player population has over 1,000 hours in this game, and there's just not a lot of games out there that you can buy one time for $60 and put, you know, thousands of hours in, where your experience with the game is constantly changing. And that's sort of what it's like for No Man's Sky right now. So... Plus, if you have a PlayStation 4, you can pick up this game used for probably $10, brand new for 20. You know, the media tried to make it sound like the game was dead and like nobody was playing it, but enough people were playing it that they re-released the game for Xbox One. They allowed it to be sold and downloaded by Tencent WeGame in China. You know, they've done what is it? What are we at now? Foundation, Pathfinder. So the major overhauls have been Foundation, Pathfinder, um, Atlas Rises, No Man's Sky Next, and then now No Man's Sky: The Abyss. So there's been 5 titled overhauls to the game, with probably close to 40 patches in between all of those total. So the game is constantly being worked on, constantly being developed, constantly being tweaked, optimized, improved upon. Um, as you can see, what you're looking at right now, I have an entire planet at my disposal, and I can do this in 18 quintillion different star systems that each have their own planets with their, with planets, some that have, as you can see, the planet that I'm on has rings. Some planets have moons. Some planets are completely barren, dead planets, but the moons are tropical oases. There's so much variation, and there's never been a better time to play. So, if you've been curious about it, and all the things that you've heard over the last couple of years have been keeping you away, ignore that. You know, if it's not going to take food off your table to spend $20, this game is worth much more than that, in my opinion. So. And what I would recommend, a hunter, fallen hunter, is I would recommend that if you decide to buy the game, just if it's on PlayStation 4, make sure your PlayStation 4 is completely disconnected from the internet. Put that thing in, and I want you to experience the game in its original release state, its vanilla state. And then I want you to sort of develop your own opinions about what you're seeing, about the mechanics, how it functions, what you're doing. And do that for a couple of hours, okay? And then connect everything back online and download the latest update. And that will give you an idea of the vast changes that have occurred. Plus, during one of the Xbox Live streams, Hello Games released a little brief trailer sort of showcasing all of the different ways that No Man's Sky had changed since launch. And then that'll give you an idea of the evolution that the game has gone through since the time that it came out. So this game is very much a work in progress. And then you ask, can you be a space pirate? And the answer is yeah. Yeah, we have our resident pirate right here, Slade Braddock, in the chat. So, of course it would freeze. And it may not recover. This is going to piss me the fuck off. I might lose the stream, guys. Oh, whew, I was freaking out. So, just to give you some history, Fallen, this is a hub that I'm playing in right now called the Free Delta Initiative. The Euclid Galaxy, which is one of 250 galaxies that you can go to in No Man's Sky. The Euclid Galaxy, which has quintillions of star systems, okay, is broken up into 4 quadrants. If you take the three-dimensional space and you sort of convert it into a flat plane, you have Alpha Quadrant, which is where the Amino Hub is. You have Beta Quadrant, which is where the Alliance of Galactic Travelers is. You have Gamma Quadrant, which is where the Galactic Hub is. And then you have Delta Quadrant, which is where we are. This is the Free Delta Initiative. We are in the Delta Quadrant of the Euclid Galaxy. So essentially the bottom right of the grid. When players start No Man's Sky, they start in one of the 4 quadrants at the back edge. So you're going to start towards the back of the galaxy, and one of the objectives, if you choose to do it in the game, is to progress towards the center. Which I don't want to spoil that for you. But there's a lot of things you can do. There's a journey to the center. There's something called the Artemis quest line. There's a few different storylines in the game, and there's the Atlas path. There's different things that you can do to sort of take up your time. Or you could do what I do and do absolutely nothing but fly around, build some shit, kill things, stuff like that. One of my live streams, I went deep down into a cave, me and 2 other people, and then I used the ricochet mod on my blaster and bounced it around inside of a cave and had like a disco randomly. There's creatures in the game that you can fight on land and in water. They're called biological horrors. There's space pirates. There's battles that occur. You have to save freighters. You can build communities with your friends. So not only can you build a base anywhere you want to build a base, but your friends can help you do it. You know, something like this one. This is a big compound, and they can get even bigger than this. So this is a pretty large compound right here. That my friend Hidden built. He's the other half of this channel. And then he's also building some components underwater as well. So, not only in this game can you travel from space seamlessly down to a planet through its atmosphere to its surface, but then you can explore its surface. So, you can go through caves. You can go underwater. You can build bases like this, for example, underwater. So now I'm in sort of like a biodome under this lake, right? There's really not any other game like this on PlayStation and Xbox. There just isn't. The closest game to compare this to is Elite Dangerous. And Elite Dangerous, you can't get out of your shit. You know, you don't have a player model that you can actually run around with and interact with and move. There's no other people in the game except for if you're in a multiplayer session that you can play with. So this game has a lot to offer for everybody, especially if you're like sci-fi. So. Somebody named Dank Tate joined the game lobby. Such a cool name, Dank Tate. But Sword, since if you're still watching the chat, since you're a mod, I don't know why I didn't make Slade Braddock a moderator. He needs to be a moderator. Sword, since you're a moderator for the channel, if you don't mind, put the link to our amino in the chat. And Fallen, join the amino, and also put Slade's epic pirate one in there as well, because it sounds like Fallen Hunter is interested in being a space pirate, and if that's what he wants to do, he needs to hook up with Slade for sure. All right, now let's get this carbon. I hardcore sidetracked myself. Man, I hope he's got some at this base, because the other base didn't load. And that's the one that really's got the carbon trace. Yeah, god damn it. Thank you, Sword. So there might even be a civilization of pirates you can join. Hell yeah, dude. What about smuggler? You convince me. That's the thing, Fallen. You can be whatever you want. You can be a complete fucking asshole if that's what you want to do. If you want to join people's games and grief players, you're able to do that. Okay? You're not going to have a lot of friends and people aren't going to like you, but you can do that. You know, in some instances, you can even go to people's bases and steal their shit. Like take their, stuff that they put down, like save points and, things like that. I mean, you can do whatever you want. And you stop by the right channel because the Free Delta Hub, which me, Slade Braddock, and Lily Hop of the NMS Cafe started, it's free is in the name for a reason. You be what you want to be. We have our central hub region, which is the Astara region, and anything goes. As long as you don't go to other civilizations that are partnered with our hub, as long as you don't go to other civilizations and break their rules that they might have in place, then it's completely fine. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can be a pirate. You can be a bounty hunter. That's one of my favorite things to do in the game is just hunt bounties. Is just to like go to the space station, take bounty missions for nanites, which is a type of currency in the game, and then just hunt down bounties. I love doing that, shooting space pirates, stuff like that. You can be a base builder, hidden, which is my friend here. He loves building bases in No Man's Sky. That's sort of his thing. He's been practicing all kinds of different ways to build bases and how complex things can be, how large they can get. So he's just been sort of playing around with his base building capabilities. Sword in the chat builds high yielding farms for money. And I'll tell you this, if you get No Man's Sky and you join our hub, to help give you a head start, the Hidden Panda Bank and Trust, which is my civilization within the game, I will meet you wherever you are in game, and I will give you billions of units worth of an item called stasis devices, which are very valuable. And I have an entire ship that's just full of them, just for you. So keep that in mind. I need to get these trees. My whole plan was to go to his Hollywood base and get his carbon trays, which he has a tremendous amount of, but that base did not load. So now I got to do it the old-fashioned way. Yeah, I'm gonna put my gamer tag in here as well in the chat. And Fallen Hunter, we have a really active community, so people are constantly in the chat, sharing screenshots, talking, hanging out. We've got people that like to do research. Right now, Slade Braddock, he's leader of the Epic Pirate. He's one of the leaders of the Epic Pirates. But right now, he's doing multi-tool research. So a multi-tool is this weapon that I'm using. It does mining as well as has offensive capabilities as well. But he's trying to find an S-class max slot alien multi-tool, which has maximum damage and stuff like that. And he's trying to find it in our hub system. So there's research parties that go out. There's just all sorts of different ways that people play. And it's a really positive and good community. Alright, fuck you, dude. Back off. We got J-Spot J in the chat. Welcome back to Hidden Panda Show, bro. what is going on. Giving them nanites, boy. Oh shit. Do I even have enough ammo? Ooh. Shit. Whew. Damn it. Where is it at? Fuck. Whew. Oh, you're going down, Haas. Let's get the shit out of here. Oh no. Damn it. Oh, the worst. Alright, where is it? No, where is it? Space station. If anyone needs help getting to the FDI hub or units, my PSN is Sword. Just message me. There you go. Vote for best ongoing video game. Sandarin, where can I do that at? I would love to cast my vote. Is it too late? Sean tweeted it. Okay. Slade says, thank you, Sword. You're awesome, bro. Also, I can help with that. And also units, nanites. Hidden Panda Bank and Trust has some strange hours, but everything is free. Everything is free. We provide all loans, no credit check, no interest. You don't even have to pay us back. Literally, it's the best bank in the galaxy. That's for any player. I don't care how long you've been playing. It could be yesterday, or it could be 2 years. If you need a resource, and I have it, I will give it to you. I have a lot of shit. I have salvage tech. I have S-class modules for the submarine. I've got stasis devices, circuit boards, all kinds of shit. Back to Fiji. Okay. J-Spot, you lied, because I pulsed and it dropped me out of pulse to encounter that first Sentinel starship. But I once thought as you did, until the world made me cynical. I used to think also that like if you were pulse driving, they couldn't fuck with you, but no, dude, it straight up. If you go back and watch that, it straight up dropped me out of pulse for that fucker to come attack me. Big shout out to Into the Door. I just saw the Amino post. He came across his first S-class capital freighter. Um, Congratulations, dude. And that is just really badass. A big shout out to Into the Door for that amazing find. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Fallen Hunter just said in the chat, just bought it. Yes, dude. That is freaking sick. That is awesome. Stark Wolf says, yeah, I saw that too. Regarding the post, right? Hell yeah, dude. That's so tight. Fallen Hunter, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Make sure you join that Amino link that we sent you. Amino's an app that you can download on iOS or Android. You can also go to it's on the web as well if you want to use a computer. Um, but it's just a place where you can create like communities. So we created the Amino community because it's easy. It's sort of like Facebook for this kind of shit. It's intuitive. You can create wikis. So we have resource pages, links to videos. We have a chat. You can create your own chat. We have chats. Um, all kinds of stuff. So, are you called the One of Kings? Is that you, Fallen Hunter? Sarkle says, nice. Second game sold on stream. Hell yeah, dude. Hello Games should start paying me a commission. No, I'm joking. I'm totally playing. But, no, I mean, I'm just that passionate. I love the game. You know what I mean? I just love the game. I will always stand up for this game. Has it always been perfect? No, it hasn't. You know, these updates have brought this game a long way. I will never trade what I have now for the game that came out. And I love the game that came out, but that's just how much I love this game now. So, I'm just super passionate about the game. And if the only problem with it is that it doesn't hold your hand when you get started. Once you get started, you're kind of having to figure things out, but that's all part of that sort of initial experience because not to spoil it, but those that have started the game, your character, right, is sort of unawares, and it all plays into that, and you're having to kind of figure out what's going on for yourself, and then you sort of like learn the dynamics of the game as you play. But I think that's important to kind of. I think it's important that the game starts out that way, but a lot of people dislike that about the game because it doesn't sort of coach you that well. Don't disappear again. I'm gonna upload to save some progress. I need to hide this little area right here. It doesn't let me pick up the base computer. You can't pick it up anymore and like move it, which is annoying as hell. And I don't have any chromatic metal to build another one, so I'm probably just going to build something around it to hide it, I guess. I'll make it some like random color so that it kind of stands out. One of these is not like the others. All right. Let's make a hut. Yeah, I don't know about Dark Souls, but No Man's Sky definitely does hold your hand. It does it. It tells you nothing. You just sort of like, you just start playing, and it's like, oh, you need this, and it's like, oh, how do I get, you've got to like fend for yourself, sort of, and figure it out. I kind of like that though, but a lot of people have a tendency to sort of complain about that, and I think it's sort of, one of the more important aspects of the game. Yeah, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I don't know. You know what? I need floor pieces. Got to widen that out. Bigger. Ooh. Yeah. We'll do that. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, this way. This way. This way. This way. That way. All right, let me think about this here. That's actually going to change in order for me to do it that way. Oops. That's actually going to change the distance that these have to be apart. So I've got to move these three floor units apart as opposed to two to make that work. Or I just make the hut smaller. Probably just make the hut smaller instead of having to redo the whole walkway. Okay, so, Fallen, to answer your question, don't forget, I implore you to play the vanilla version of this game. I really mean that. I think it'd be a really good idea. But to answer your question about how many ships you can pilot, so check this out. Uh, it's a more complicated answer than you realize. So, you can own 6 starships total. There's different classes. Okay? You've got... the different classes that you can have include hauler, which is obviously your slower, more sort of cargo-like vessels. that have much more inventory slots than the other ships, so you can hold a lot of things. And they come in different classes. You've got A class, B class, or C class, B class, A class, S class. You know, and in ascending order that way. You've got fighters. The max slot that a fighter can have is 38 slots of inventory. The way the inventory works is kind of complicated. You've got to play it to get it. But anyway, you've got haulers, you've got fighters, which the name is self-explanatory. You've got shuttles. You've got exotic. What am I missing? Hauler, shuttle, fighter, exotic. Oh, and explorer ships. So you got all those different classes, but you can have 6 total ships. So you can have one of each one if you want, or whatever. And you can pilot every single one of those. But you can also have a space freighter. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and call mine in so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll even go to it for you. So this is my space freighter. Okay? Your space freighter is literally a capital ship that you own. You can't pilot it per se, but you can go to a navigation console that's in there, and you can warp in your freighter with all of your ships and everything to a different star system. And the freighters can warp a lot further than your starship can. If you've got the right class and the right modifications on it, it can jump significantly further. So there's that. But your freighter also can have up to 50 frigates, which is a fleet that you can command and send off on missions. Okay, so kind of show you what I'm talking about. So, and let me call my freighter further away, just because I called it way too close to the planet. But so I'm going to show you Fallen, all of my ships. Yes, Slade, thank you. Darius Greystone says, have not been on this game since last year. What kind of new things have been added here since I see they got the third-person view? Man, guys, if you can help me in the chat, catch up Darius Greystone, a lot has changed. A lot has changed. So, Fallen. So this is one of my starships. This is an exotic starship. I've got 3. This is a hauler. Okay, this one has a ton of inventory slots. This is an S-class hauler, and this would be my gift to you if whenever you're ready. So as you can see, each one of these is worth 78 million units, and I have several of these that I'd be more than happy to give away. But this is like a cargo ship. Okay, they hold a lot more. This is a squid, which is another type of exotic. The tentacles come further out from the front when you operate it. They're really fast and agile. They have good attack capabilities and good warp distance attributes. All the exotics have good warp distance attributes. This is another one of my exotics here. So this is I call it the Event Horizon. This used to be my main ship for hyperdrive travel, but that got easily surpassed by this one over here, which is smaller, doesn't have that ridiculously huge fin, and has better stats in just about every other way. This is another one of my haulers here. I really like this one. This is an A class, it's not an S class, but I've got some stasis devices in here as well as a few other things. But yes, so. And then you have your fighters. For combat, this is easily my best ship. Cuz Walt helped me find this ship. before the last update or before next updated. Um, I've got some tech here, some stasis devices, some S-class tech. So whenever you're ready, man, I can jump in and I can give you some S-class tech to help protect you from radioactive planets, toxic planets, hot, cold planets, that kind of thing, as well as give you some money and some resources, warp cells, things like that to kind of kick things off for you. But this is my fighter ship here, and most ships in the game I can shoot and kill in just one shot. So everything I have in this ship is geared towards a weapon called um, the positron ejecta, which is incredible. So the positron ejecta is essentially a shotgun, and once the ship gets within range, I can take it down very quickly. And then just to show you the inside portions of the upper, the upper deck area, like your bridge and all that stuff of your space freighter. Which, if I remember correctly, Darren, when you go through the story mode, your first one, the game actually gives you for free, which did not happen when the rest of us first started playing 2 years ago. You had to fucking earn that thing, and you couldn't build bases and farms and shit like that. You had to like scan things on planets and upload it, for galactic units. You had to buy things from traders and space stations and sell them, and stuff like that. You had to really grind to get those millions of units to buy freighters. Now the game just gives it to you when you're going through the story campaign. But this is your bridge. So this is where all the magic happens in the freighter. So this is the Galactic Commission Station. This is where you and your friends can go do missions together. So if you're in a multiplayer lobby with your friends, these are missions that you guys can knock out as a team. Or you can go on your own if you want. But this is sort of what this is for. And so if you need to go earn some nanites, scan 20 creatures, and you earn 247 nanites. If you do this with your friends in as a co-op objective, you'll get the reward. Kill 9 monstrosities, right? 238 nanites. So nanites are a different form of currency in the game that helps you to buy tech. This is the freighter warp map. You pull this up. This brings you to the star system. Right now we're in Astara, which is the capital region. And then you can contents and everything to a completely different system. There's also where you can manage your fleet from here. So this pulls up all the different ships you have in your fleet. I've got 2 S-class vessels. Obviously, when you select one, it highlights which one in your fleet it is. I've got 4 B classes and some C classes. So, and I've got 2 sheets of ships, and then, well, I got a fuckload of C classes. Okay. But when you send these things off on missions, they earn rewards that you can have that are worth money or different things like that, but they also level up. So the more missions they go on, the more objectives they successfully complete, the higher their level. And this is where you can manage your fleet and stuff like that. God, Darren's going to love this game. God, I fucking know he's going to love this game. This is the rest of your freighter here. And this area is actually very large. So when you come in here for the first time, this is all the space that you have initially. This freighter is new for me, and I haven't built in this freighter yet. But you can build this space back incredibly large, and you can actually have a resource farm here if you want. You can turn this into whatever you want. Just like how you saw that you can build bases on these different planets, you can build inside your freighter like that too, to a quite extensive degree. So you can make this area very, very, very large. And you can put storage containers in here to really keep resources like those stasis devices. That's taken up a lot of inventory in my hauler. Really, I should build a storage container to put that in, um, so that I'm not having to lug it around as much. But you can do all kinds of things with your freighter, um, uh, including your appearance modifier. So you can add one of these, and this is where you can actually customize your player avatar and change their color and the look and everything of them. So if I wanted to change, let's say, my helmet, I can go through, a variety of different styles here that you can switch between and stuff like that. So different helmets. So. But that's your appearance modifier, and that's what changes your character and stuff. So. And the way and not only can you change your character, but as an anomaly, you're like obviously like a human type player, right? But you can be any of the races that you see in the game. So you can be a traveler, you can be a Gek, a Viking, a Korvax. So throughout your playing the game, you'll encounter a variety of different species of alien, um, and you can play as any one of those as well. And here's the really cool part: it doesn't cost you anything to edit your character. It costs you 0. So you can do it as often as you want. It doesn't cost you any resources, doesn't cost you any units, and you can change the entire appearance of your character on a day-by-day basis if that's what you want to do. I'm going to kind of fly away just a little bit so you can kind of get a sense of scale, how large your freighter is. So that's how big this bad boy is. This is one of the larger ones in the game. This is a max slot S-class freighter. It's like a city in the sky, basically. And then these here, these are the different ships that you can have in your fleet. Some of them specialize in attack, some of them specialize in exploration, or industry, or whatever. They're good for all sorts of different things. And here's the cool part, Darren, is that any one of these frigates that are in your fleet, you can land. And you can land on any one of these. Not only can you land on it, but they're fully explorable as well. And sometimes they come back damaged and you have to repair them. So right now I'm on one of my frigates that's floating above my my star freighter in an asteroid belt outside of this planet right here. So, but you can go inside the frigate, and there's different rooms and stuff inside here as well. Why didn't I think? I completely forgot about that. I could have did this the whole time. Oh, you can't interact with it. I was going to say, I could have came in here and got carbon all this time. So these are all the different things here. Consoles that, if the ship needs repairs because it went off on a mission and came back damaged, you would come to these different consoles here to perform repairs on the ship. So. And this particular frigate has 4 landing pads, so you and your friends can come hang out on the frigate or whatever. So this Darren, this is why I say is, to answer your question, was No Man's Sky worth it? Which you'll find out now that you've bought the game. But yes, it is very much worth it. $60 gets you all of this. You know what I mean? At least 2 years ago, right? You're not even going to spend anywhere near that. Well, I don't know where you bought it at, but it's worth 60, more than 60 in my opinion. But you get 18 quintillion star systems that each have planets and things like that you can explore. The planets are planets, right? There's no way that you can fully explore a planet in any reasonable amount of time. You just can't. You are but a speck on any one of these land masses. These are planets, okay? And you can visit them, land on them, moons. You can mine them. You can build bases anywhere you want on them. You can build a statue with your terrain manipulator if you want, or you can bore a hole straight through the side of a mountain. You know what I mean? Literally anything that you want to do can be done for the most part, right? Within reason, more than pretty much any other game out there, really. So, and the fact that it's running on a PlayStation 4 smoothly, I mean, come on. But there's my baby right there. Hold on, is that right? Does that say Hidden Jew is joining my game? Is he in the chat? No way. Let me catch up on this chat real quick. Also, Exocrafts, yep. Very long list of new things. That is very true. What I will tell you, Darius, is that if you jump on this game right now and let the updates and everything come through, you will be very surprised by what is now possible and what is available in this game. It is insane. Also, I will join you in any multiplayer session that you want, and you saw the amount of stasis devices and things that I have and technology. I will give you that shit. I will give you that shit. So, I'm all about, making this experience, as good as possible for any players. Player model customizations, yep. Submarine, updated flora, underwater fauna, yep. This already looks far cooler than when I was on here. You have no idea, Darius. You have no idea. That is one badass ship, y'all. Stark. We got the Twinkie ships, man. Me and you got the balling out with this needle nose exotic. Slade Braddock says I'm heading home now. We'll be jumping on it a bit. Peace. Awesome, dude. Starkwolf says, FDI cap system. Yes, sir. It's already starting to become populated, man. I want to see base badges fucking everywhere on here, dude. Sandarin says, all right, folks, I voted No Man's Sky for best ongoing game since launch. The other choices were games littered with microtransactions, loot boxes, and paid DLCs. So this should be an easy win for Hello Games. Fingers crossed. Let's hope they win, and I'm definitely going to go vote as well. If people chose the others out of spite and are still riding that decrepit hate train, sorry, but it's its last legs. Sandarin, surprisingly, there's just not really haters out there anymore. And if they are, they're just loud, but they're of a few population, because this game is beloved by a lot of people, and it has a lot of very positive reviews and stuff right now. There's a lot more people that are covering it, that are streaming it, that are making videos about it, tutorials, how-tos, and much larger channels. I'm talking channels with, that have 60, 70,000 subscribers or more, right? Like even channels that are even way bigger than Cobra, and they're covering No Man's Sky. That is great for Hello Games. In one of their patch notes or something that they released recently, they talked about how No Man's Sky Next, before Abyss dropped actually, was they were glad to see AAA player numbers, right? This is 2 years after the game's come out, a game that everybody said was dead, that no one played, that, whatever, there was no hope, it was terrible, whatever. 2 years later, they still have AAA player numbers. They're dropping it on new consoles and new markets. They're providing all these updates, getting all these great reviews, and now more coverage than they have since launch, right? So the last time they had this much positive coverage and this much, attention was when the game launched. Obviously, they're never going to hit that sort of peak again, but I mean, The days of people hating on No Man's Sky are long gone. If they're hating on No Man's Sky, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to get Hidden in this party chat if he's available. So I'm going to blue screen you guys for just 1 second. And I'm back. So hopefully he's able to join in the chat. That would be mad epic. What we got Mock Tone in the chat. Mock Tone says, "Sup, Panda? What's going on, Mock Tone?" Make sure you click on Mock Tone's little logo there and go like and subscribe his channel. He makes content too, and he's just a dope ass dude. Looks like Fallen Hunter knows Mock.
Oh, dude, you're invisible.
Am I?
Yeah, your ship is too. I joined on your game.
Panda Claus. Hell yeah. Yeah, I saw your ship and everything. So the train is derailed, but people are still in the seats. Exactly, dude. It's kind of like it's kind of like those people that like what do you call it? The Last Jedi comes out. It's got 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. The critics and the people that watched it universally gave it great reviews, right? But the people that are the most negative are the loudest and unfortunately get the most attention. And then they ended up finding out, like, later on, like a year after the movie fucking came out, that the hate campaign was actually started by Russian fucking trolls who were paid to sort of push this whole social justice warrior is ruining everything agenda into the mainstream. So initially, the negativity was actually not even universally held until these Russian trolls came out and started pushing it. And then people who naturally link themselves to negative things jumped on these negativity bandwagons about a movie that otherwise was a great movie. So, not to get too political, but I mean, that's just the facts. You know, the haters out there are just so much louder than everyone else.
So, some of the stuff I did last night is not here.
For me it is.
Not for me.
Well, the game takes a long time to like load up right now for some reason. Like the pop-in's been bad since I started the stream, but that whole building in the back, I see it. So. Did you do more since we got off last night?
I tried to, but it wouldn't let me. I actually went there today. I booted the game up, came in. But like, I did a lot of stuff, dude. Like, there should be walls up here in the middle section that are gone on this half. I had stuff up here in a whole layout, a floor with a hallway starting a room, and it's gone.
Really?
Yeah. Huh.
I'm trying to figure out how to build these huts. I don't think I spaced the walkways out far enough. See you, Stark. You know, Sander, and I don't know what they gained out of it, and people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I've always latched onto The Empire Strikes Back as the best Star Wars movie ever made, but I think it's The Last Jedi. It's hidden. I can hear myself. I think I'm coming through your TV.
No, I have you muted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it's the best Star Wars movie ever made, and it's the most Star Wars of the Star Wars movies. You know? In A New Hope, Ben Kenobi hides himself away, you know, for fear that, you know, the Empire will come back and will find him and take away the galaxy's only hope or whatever, and he gets discovered by Luke Skywalker and sacrifices himself for the greater good and all these other kind of things, and by doing so, right, his old Darth Vader's old master was Obi-Wan Kenobi. So by him killing Obi-Wan Kenobi, that unbalanced his connection to the dark side, and all these other things, right? And essentially put Darth Vader on a path to good, and redeems himself at the end. The Last Jedi is no different, right? Luke Skywalker sacrifices himself for the greater good, yada yada yada. Kylo Ren strikes him down, and that's going to have large implications on him going into the next film. So basically, beat for beat, and George Lucas himself said that Star Wars movies are like poetry, and that they sort of all have sort of similar themes going on. So they made a movie that felt different, completely strange, and new to people that watched it, but all of the themes and elements were all still there and were all still very Star Wars. So if you didn't like the movie, it's because, either you had a personal problem with the narrative or whatever the case is, or whatever. But to say that it's not Star Wars and that it was a travesty and all that, you obviously, I don't know what the fuck you've been watching for the last 40 years, because it was the most Star Wars of Star Wars movies. So it had all of those beats, it had all of those thematic elements, and then everybody said, "Oh, the Canto Bite scene was completely pointless, and I hated that scene," and blah 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 blah. But even Yoda tells Luke Skywalker, he says, failure the greatest teacher is. Right? The whole movie was about the people that are eventually going to become leaders of the rebellion. They're failing. They all failed. Poe Dameron failed. Everybody failed. Leia failed. They couldn't reach out to the resistance. They couldn't get the help. Finn and Rose failed. Everybody failed in that movie, but they all learned an important lesson. Whether it was how to be a better leader like Poe Dameron, or whether it was Finn learning how to be selfish, or how not to be selfish. His only focus was ever on Rey. But at the end of The Last Jedi, he understands that there's a bigger plot there, that there's more people at stake, that there's more to what's going on in the universe than just Rey, and that he needs to be the hero the rebellion needs him to be, and he had to fail in order to see that vision, right? So all of those things were in place, and to me, that's why I think it's sort of the best Star Wars movie ever made, because it hits all the Star Wars beats, and it all made sense. It all had the right lessons in place. Everything was there for me, and that's why it has a fucking 97% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever it is. It didn't just like get that for shits and giggles because it's a Star Wars movie. It fucking earned that. It's a great film. But anyway, that was a fucking tangent.
One that needed to be said.
Dude, the people who know me in real life, they know how passionate I am about Star Wars, man. I'm like a fucking fanatic when it comes to Star Wars. Okay, let's see how that looks to kind of build it off center. That might actually be the way to go. I don't know how I feel about it, but let's see. We'll see what it ends up looking like. Why in the shit did I put that there? Bro, how good of a time did we have last night, like, building this shit, dude?
Dude, way too much fun.
Dude, like, we stayed up way too late, dude. Like, knocking this out, like, way too late.
4 in the morning.
Fallen Hunter says, "Is that an ocean planet, Panda?" Bro. This is Darren. This is the oh, by the way, Hidden, if you want to give a shout out to Darren, he just bought No Man's Sky today during this stream.
Darren, welcome to the family, dude. Oh, that's pretty cool. So another one. Is that
another convert? So, and I've got a feeling he's really going to like this game. So, not Darren, Fallen Hunter. Sorry, but Fallen
Hunter.
This is not an ocean planet. There are planets that are all ocean, by the way. There are planets like that that maybe have little islands here and there, but are mostly water. But this planet
has land.
It has land. It's a lot like Earth.
Yeah.
So it has continents and big land masses, but it also has giant areas of just nothing but ocean. And if you want to see something cool, man, let me hop into my little trusty dusty submarine and give you a tour of what lies beneath. And I'm not talking about my dick. I'm joking. Oh, your submarine's still here where it was yesterday.
Oh, dude, do you have any carbon?
I just burned a lot of it, I think, because I'm making wood pieces, so I'm going through carbon kind of aggressively. So I need it, but
Okay. No, I hear you.
all right, Fallen,
Man, I can't.
check this out. So I went underwater on Hidden's planet, and that was shallow. That was a lake. This is the ocean, my friend.
Oh, did you go to It's Always Sunny or Hollywood?
I went to It's Always Sunny. Hollywood didn't load up. I don't know if you haven't uploaded it or if it's not set to public or whatever, but
It didn't show up?
it didn't load at all. That should give you some sense of scale, Fallen, how deep I am right now. So my submarine's actually really fast, so that happened really quickly. But I'm way down under there, bro.
Not only that, but I'm going to space at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I've completely left the map that you're on. You know, that's alone in itself is mind blowing.
Whew. That biological horror thing almost got me, or whatever the hell that was, that eyeball. And this, Fallen, this isn't even including the caves that are under here. Me and Hidden last night, we went into a cave system, bro, that we actually had to use the terrain manipulator to blast our way out of the... Yeah, dude, it was bad.
Lost. Completely lost.
Yeah.
I was almost getting claustrophobic. I was like, holy shit.
And we were well below the surface of this planet and in caves, man. And we were in there for what, like a half an hour we were down there at least.
Oh, dude.
We just kept going down, down, down. Yeah, that was crazy. I'm harvesting some carbon right now for us.
I'm over here getting some too. There we go. Having a hard time landing, dude. It's so weird. I wish that they'd fix the flight controls just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's really easy to learn and like arcadey for like, so it's good for new players to figure out, but once you've been playing for a while you realize the shortcomings of it.
Yeah. If it was like elite flying, it'd be pristine, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I love how Elite Dangerous is so free flying. It's more of a flight simulator, so it makes sense, but still, the freedom you have of flying in Elite compared to this. But the freedom you have to explore this game compared to Elite, like... Like, Elite looks good, yes, it's an awesome game, I do enjoy Elite Dangerous, I'm not hating on it, but you would catch me playing No Man's Sky way more than Elite.
Oh yeah. I hardly ever play Elite, honestly.
They just had like a bunch of updates and it's still not good to me. Like I'm still like I need better than what you're doing. The only thing I want No Man's Sky to do is give me enemy on planets. I want gun battles with friends against an enemy. We need a level of danger on planets.
Right.
My only complaint.
I need Sword to bring his freighter back by with his like unbelievable amount of frost work, so that I can make more glass. That dude has a ridiculous amount of frost work, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
I believe it.
it's wild.
No sentinels on this planet?
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe there isn't.
Well, normally if you harvest this much carbon, I'd have a sentinel like watching my fucking every move.
Right.
Like the second I farted, he'd be right over here examining it.
Yeah. All right, now let's build the roof. Where my roof pieces at? There we go.
I love when I lose my ship.
Yeah,
It's
isn't that
actually
the
my
best?
favorite thing in the game. Oh, dude, it's my favorite thing.
Bro, the salt is real.
Best feature in next.
Rotate. This part is always a little tricky, getting this thing to spin the right way.
God, there's so many people living in this system, and I love it.
Yes.
True colonization.
Come
Are you
on.
at your base right now?
Yeah, bro.
Shit, I'm going the wrong one. I thought you was out floating around somewhere.
I might have to do this part from outside, dude. I cannot get this thing to go down there. Yeah, I'm gonna go outside and do it. You cannot get those pieces to fit.
Isn't it crazy, like, how you started building that first little, like, row of trees, and now you have all this sitting around you?
Yeah,
When
dude.
before, need to remind you, for anyone who hasn't played No Man's Sky back in the day, like, you used to build the smallest little bases. Like, I could never do anything cool with it. I would try, and then I would hit the base limit. I'd be like, oh, yay. 4 pieces of glass, awesome. And now,
Well, and
man, you
like,
could build anywhere you want to. Need to remind you, you used to have to find little cylinder pods and settle for that area. You didn't. There was no. Oh, let me find this area and slap down a computer and build. No.
yeah, that you
That
were
was
restricted
free
on
back
where
in the
you
day.
could build. You had to find a perfectly. You had to find the base cylinder, because the game with the terrain generation and stuff like that, it had to be a perfectly flat spot in order for you to build. So it had to be the terrain generator, or not the terrain generator. After the terrain generator became available, became a thing, and you could manipulate your environment. Now you can build a base anywhere you want. So, but before it had to be that flat piece of land, and then you had a very limited perimeter that you can build in. And even then,
Yep.
people still built crazy shit. You know.
Yeah, dude. Boyd Gaming. That's the one that comes to mind of just like, what the dude. Especially for like how big you could build, and he was doing. He did an entire Hidden Panda logo. I highly advise anyone who's interested to look at Boyd's Gaming's before next. His builds were incredible.
Before I build another one, let me see what that looks like from space. Do you mind catching up on the chat real quick, Hid? I almost called you Panda.
You almost did. Yeah, wow. Fallen Hunter says, thanks, Hidden Jew. Yep, you're welcome, bro. Sand says, I enjoy films with great cinematography, like 300 and its sequel, even it wasn't as good as the first. Fallen says, nice, so I can make my place inside a cave. That's dope. Oh yeah, dude, you can make yourself, check this, not only inside a cave, in underwater, way up in the atmosphere.
Yep.
Anywhere, dude. I have a really cool water. Well, I used to have a really cool water cave that was. It's no longer with us, but
Also,
yeah, man. The places you can build is just insane.
Fallen. Whenever you get started with the game, and you get past sort of like the opening sequence, make sure everybody that's in this chat that's in the FDI, if you're comfortable with it, give him your gamer tag. And if you see any of us on Fallen and we're in the
Yeah, jump
FDI,
on.
you can ask us. You can join our game session so that you end up in our hub, and then you can put a base computer anywhere you want on this planet or any of the planets in this system, and
Right.
start building a base and help us kind of populate this area. So,
Especially with you being new, like it'd be cool for you to be a neighbor
mhm.
too.
So instead of having 3 huts either side, I think I'm gonna, just because of how you have to build it, I think I'm gonna limit it
Hmm.
to 2 huts.
Okay.
And I'm gonna remove the middle walkway because it restricts too much what I'm trying to build.
We're starting on the hotel rooms over here. I wish white was actually white and not like a fucking dumb gray.
You got some animosity there, Hib? Shit.
Well, I'm just not happy with the white, man. It's like not white, you know what I mean?
I'm fucking with you. I hate when I fall off the edge of something when I'm building.
Yeah, I did that last night. I was walking backwards. I was just like, really?
Literally the worst. Okay.
Y'all perfect anymore?
I'm trying to decide if having these arches look good. I feel like probably not.
Easy. I've already looked into it for myself.
All right, Kip.
Oh fuck! I just fell off.
I know, dude.
I'm glad you got that.
Oh, the Kip thing? Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever Rico's like, you know anything about town travel? Easy. I've already looked into it for myself. I love Napoleon Dynamite. If you also like Napoleon Dynamite and you're listening to this, leave a like. Let's get a hashtag Napoleon Dynamite going on in the comments right now.
I love Napoleon Dynamite, but I like Nacho Libre even more.
Okay, this is what I want the comments to do. If you're on Team Dynamite, I need a hashtag. If you're on Team Libre, you need to know. I want to poll right now which movie is better out of those two.
Without question, you know it's Nacho Libre, don't you?
Let's find out in the chats. Hopefully people comment. Hopefully people seen it. That'd be worse. Fallen says, so how is the weather in the game? Is it changing on planets? Yes, you'll have, like right now there's a storm going on currently on this planet, but you'll find planets that don't have storms, you'll find planets that are snowing, you'll find planets that have toxic rain, you'll have planets that uh, have like really hot temperature where you can't, you know, be out in it. It's got a very dynamic range of weather. Uh-oh, we got Sand. He says, hashtag Nacho Libre because I actually watched it. So you're saying, Sand, you haven't seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Sanderin, you could have just said hashtag
important.
Nacho just without the disclaimer, you know, to help out the good old panda bear here.
So far, we've only got one. Let us know, guys. I'm curious. I think Napoleon Dynamite's better. That's just my opinion.
I liked how weird Napoleon Dynamite was. I liked the girl who played Encarnacion. I like the guy that played El Skeleto.
Ah, can you change it to where I can delete base parts? Because it's not letting me.
Yeah, I turned that off because somebody joined that I didn't know who it was. So.
Okay, I got you.
You should be able to do it now.
Sand says, my lush world has perfect weather. It never storms. Yeah, that's how my first base planet was. It's why I call it It's Always Sunny, because it doesn't storm. And I love the TV show.
Your planet hidden does storm. It's just very fucking rare.
Oh shit, we got J-Spot that says hashtag Napoleon Dynamite. Ooh, tied right now.
No. No way, dude.
Went out and got it. I went out and got it.
That's the pote.
Hang on, we got Stan that says, but I did watch bits of Napoleon Dynamite, but it never piqued my interest for some reason. Fallen says, not watch any of them, so can't really vote. It's alright, Fallen. It's alright. If you had Fallen, you'd like Napoleon Dynamite more, so.
No, not necessarily.
But yeah, dude. So I'm about to have band practice, and my band's showing up right now. So I'm gonna have to get out of here right now.
Oh, no worries, dude.
But yeah,
I was surprised that you stopped by. I didn't think you'd be able to, so that's why I never mentioned it. I figured you might be working or whatever. So it was cool that you came through.
I did. Yeah, I was working earlier. I got off and saw that you were on. So
hell yeah.
Hopefully this will stay though. Hopefully this won't disappear like it did last time.
Just go to the base computer and upload it.
Okay.
Upload the changes.
You have it all blocked in.
Yeah, you just gotta fly over the top of it.
Okay.
It looked ugly. I didn't like it just sitting there like that.
No, dude, I totally agree.
And you can't move it anymore. You can't pick it up and move it. Ooh, dogs. One second.
It won't let me upload. But it's all good. No. Hang on.
Yeah, I don't like, is that a glitch, or did they do that on purpose? Do you know, Hidden?
What?
Is it a glitch that you can't pick up the base computers anymore? Or were you ever able to do it? I don't know. I never built a base till now. So.
You were at some point, but you have everything turned off, so I don't know if that's the reason why or not.
The only thing I had turned off was that somebody can't delete base parts. Everything else is enabled.
Well, when I went to the computer, it just had to leave. It was like the only option was to leave. So. But if you can think about it, just upload it every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Everybody chat. Nice talking to you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Take it easy, bro.
Until next time.
I don't think I like the arches. I'm probably going to remove them. Build the roof. How does that work? Ah. I wonder if I could make that like a glass top. I can. That's perfect. A little skylight. So, Panda, play it at first stage before I turn the game on. Plug in. Robbie Bread says PS4 Pro. Yep, PS4 Pro. Welcome to the chat, by the way. Fallen, yes. I would recommend that because for players that are just now getting into the game and just now starting out, I mean, you don't have to. It's completely up to you. But I just think it's a good idea to sort of see the game how it was when it came out, to sort of have an understanding of the community and you know, sort of why it's such a close-knit community, why everybody gets along so well, sort of what we've all been through with this game, and then also to see how much the game has changed over all this time as well. Because it's a very different game. Cutie. But you by no means have to do that. But it's just, I think it's sort of, and I also think it's interesting because it's something that I will never get the chance to experience again, is vanilla No Man's Sky before all the changes. So that's another reason why I sort of bring it up. Okay, I think that's going to be a lot better. Let's see. Yeah. Game is super laggy on my base PS4 at the moment. Oh, and hi. What's going on? Yeah, I could not imagine. I used to play this on the regular PS4 before I upgraded the PS4 Pro, and I couldn't imagine playing this on the regular PS4 anymore, because my PS4 Pro screams when I'm playing this game. It hisses, it gets loud, you hear it like humming, it gets super hot, even with, you know, being in an open space and a cold, sort of a chilly environment, it gets like super hot. And now I am running it at a higher resolution, right? So because it has the 4K support with HDR. If you have a display, if you have a PS4 Pro and a display that supports super sampling, I think that's probably the best way to play No Man's Sky, because you can turn on super sampling in exchange of 4K. Like, let's say it's a computer monitor and it's 1080p, but you get high dynamic range with it, right? Because you don't necessarily, high dynamic range and 4K don't go hand in hand. They're just often packaged together. But if you have a 1080p display with HDR and you turn super sampling on the PS4 Pro, the game is going to run at 60 frames a second with high dynamic range, full HD. And then super sampling is just going to kind of bump things up a bit, you know, especially with the PS4 Pro's performance mode turned on. So you're going to get better like frame performance Um, but like as far as like lagginess, I think that's just the game, and honestly, I think that's just between the procedural generation, the pop in. You know, when you're building a base and doing terrain edits and things like that, it fucks everything up. So. But I'm sitting in front of a nice big 4K TV. I like the way it looks in 4K. It was either, I want to say it was either Pathfinder or Atlas Rises that brought about the original HDR support for this game. And if I remember correctly, there was a review that was out at the time that said that No Man's Sky makes the best use of HDR. Unfortunately, I don't have it turned on right now because PlayStation does not. It's either PlayStation or YouTube. I don't know which one, but it does not allow you to stream in HDR. Probably PlayStation. So I have to turn it off whenever I stream. But when I'm playing by myself, I have HDR turned on, and it makes a huge difference. This game looks great in HDR. Oh. I do think that there will be a community event this week. I'm hoping it kicks off on Friday. I'll be interested to see what the new things that you can buy are. And sometimes the community events launch with patches. So I'm hoping that we get a patch with the community event that maybe adds a couple of new things. Come on. Alright, how much carbon is that? Almost 500. Alright, got 500 carbon. That should be enough for now. How do you turn HDR on? So you go to settings on your PS4, you go to screen and devices, and then you go to like screen or screen output settings or whatever, and then there'll be an option for HDR, and then you turn it on automatic. It's either off or automatic, and then it'll automatically detect if your display device supports HDR, and then it'll do it. Now, the brand of TV that I have supports every version of HDR, HDR10, HDR Plus, generic HDR, Dolby Vision, all that kind of stuff. It supports all of the current types of HDR. I'm not really sure which one the PS4 does. It might be HDR10. And the reason why I say that is because if your display supports an HDR version, one HDR version only, let's say it's Dolby Vision. Dolby Vision's backwards compatible with all previous versions, so you're fine. But let's say that it supports HDR10 but not Dolby Vision, and let's say that what the content that you're trying to view is in some other format, right? It won't do that other format. So if your display supports HDR10 or Dolby Vision, it'll support all the formats. If it supports any other specific format, then it might be just limited to that one format. and I don't know which format that the PS4 Pro is using because my TV supports all the versions of HDR. Well, let's build that door. I'll build the roof. Come on. Okay, and then the glass panel. But alright, now I got the shelves up. I just gotta furnish them. Random. What do you guys think, man? Those archways or no? I'm not feeling the archways. Not really liking it. See what that looks like from the air. It's kind of coming together. I want to fill in. I want to fill in some areas to plant like a shit ton of trees, not just that one central park. I want more trees. I want more foliage. On this back piece here, I'd like to see like a flat part that's built. That's like sort of like a like I don't know if they call it an atrium or whatever, but but just trees everywhere. What's going on, Kicks? Welcome to the chat. I have the original PS4, and it also makes a lot of noise. Yeah, it's because Sandra says, "Be seeing you, Panda. Have a good stream. See you later, man. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you being here." Um, yeah, Kicks. I don't know if you know much about how the procedural generation works, but it's all seed based, and basically, there's not really a lot of in-game content. Like it's all sort of it's code. So like when you arrive at a destination, your PlayStation 4 actively starts sort of building the game in front of you as you play along, as you go along, which is doing a lot of work. That's how the original release of No Man's Sky, I want to say, was like 20 gigs, and like half of that shit was like audio or something. It might have even been less. No, 7 gigs. The original release of No Man's Sky, I want to say, was 7 gigs, and then it was like I think Hello Games said half of that was audio. So there's not a lot of data that the game takes up or space the game takes up, except for lately because they've been adding a lot of pre-baked assets and stuff. But the game is creating itself as you play along, and I think that puts a lot of strain on the PS4. I think well-equipped computers are not having this problem. Like if you're playing on PC. I need to delete that middle part. Ooh,
Ooh.
I love that hauler, and I wish it was a 48 slot. I would get that thing today. Hidden keeps building this base back, which is fine. But what I'd like to see is I'd like to see a point where he takes the base and goes more vertical with it, because he's sort of helping me build it, and I've got like an idea. This was his idea to build on here, and to be fair, I told him that he can kind of freeball this however he wanted. But what I think would be a really great idea, and he might be doing it just but in his own way. I want to see this portion here actually just be built straight up. I want it to go like a few more stories up, overlooking the other half of the base, because I want this to be like the main sort of, because obviously I'm going for like a resort type vibe, right? So I want this to be sort of like the main hotel with these private like not cabanas, but like huts. These private huts and like this private sort of house here with ocean access and the floor and stuff like that for like boats and whatnot for your submarine. So I'd like to see this be taller, like a proper hotel. But so far, I'm liking the front of it. I love the entryway. I'm going to be putting support beams down there and then building them straight up underneath, because right now it just looks odd with everything sort of floating. I don't want it to stay like that. I just think it looks kind of weird. So I want some structure underneath coming up. But I think that's going to do me for the day, though. I'm not sure how long I've been playing for. But me and the wife, we got to go out and go shopping. We got to buy an outfit for a friend's wedding that we're going to. Each one of us needs an outfit, so. But it's starting to come along, guys. It doesn't look like much yet, but trust me, this the concept that I have for this, I'm gonna be. I'm already happy with the way that it looks, to be honest. I just got to fill it in. I've got to make it more dense and add things, furniture in the buildings, separate the rooms a bit more so that it all makes sense. It doesn't seem oddly open, but. I'm surrounded by ocean at this base, guys. One little island out there, nothing but water everywhere else. Little seaside getaway, and it's all built right off the top of this little part that sticks up out of the water. Little island right here. I wish that they added a thing with the terrain manipulator where you can add water, so that you know how you could take away land, add land. I wish you could add water, because then I would create a swimming pool also. So could you imagine like an above ground swimming pool? Like I could build a deck that goes up and over the water. That's a swimming pool, but it's completely made out of glass and filled with water. So you could anyway, but that would be really cool, I think. I might take some of the idea with these glass panels. I didn't think I could use those on the roof, and I think I want to add that here. on these two buildings and add the glass roofs there next time I stream, just to have some like a skylight kind of thing. But I'm gonna wall this off. This one here, this is gonna be a bedroom. I'm gonna wall that off and wall off a couple of the areas down here and add furniture and make it look sort of like a cabin. And I'm gonna do that the same thing on the other side. And the entry, I sort of added a little bit more in there as well. I added some of these paintings up on the wall, framed in this Viking symbol here. I love the Viking. They have like one of the best lores of all of the different races in No Man's Sky. I love the Viking. So yeah, just got a little hangout section here, a little VIP table. So whenever you first arrive here, this is you're sort of greeted in this entrance. You go down into the what I call the grand walkway, or the big opening walkway here, with all these different palm trees. Got this little forest in the middle with obviously got the little aquarium here, all sorts of different trees and plants. Obviously you got to have the base terminus and all that stuff. These are a little fancy getaway here. It's a little lodge, you know, for the elite class. If you're a billionaire in No Man's Sky, this is where you should stay. You have all the accoutrements. Same thing over here, and then you know, then you've got your little private cabins here as well, or private huts. So we got the area for the billionaires, we got the area for the millionaires, and then for the rest of the, you know, the many different, you know, levels of the middle class out there, we're gonna have a beautiful resort hotel for you right here. I don't know why in my, like, I'm literally pretending in my mind that this is like a proper hotel where people can, like, weary travelers can come stay and like rent. At least that's like my attitude, like my approach to it. But you know, obviously it's not like you can like lay in the bed and sleep at night or something. But yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for stopping by the channel. I really appreciate you guys joining the stream, joining the chat, keeping it going. If you're new to Hidden Panda Show, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to see more streams and more content. Also, further up, there is a link, and if Sword is still there, which I don't think he is, but there was a link to our hub. Really, it's easy to find. You just download the Amino app. That's AMINO. You download the Amino app. It's for iOS and Android. And you look for the Free Delta Initiative. You'll find us there. That is our hub. That's our sort of main chat area where we all sort of chat. We have voice chat, different, you know, like chat windows and things like that, as well as databases, and we share blog posts and things about No Man's Sky, things we discover, and stuff like that. So if you're looking for a cool group to hang out with in No Man's Sky too, look for the Free Delta Initiative and join us. We'd love to have you. This planet, this system is already starting to become populated here with different people moving in, and we'd love to see more people. So yeah, but that's pretty much it, guys. The next stream I do will just be a continuation of this, working on this base. Like I said, this is the first base that I've built in No Man's Sky since Atlas Rises. And I'm really passionate about this one, and I can't wait to see how it turns out when it's all done. And let me just catch up on the last bit of the chat here before I go. I still think it needs a lot of optimization. Since tessellation was added, the pop and ground features is pretty distracting. I agree. It's like it came out and it was stable, but like had some issues, and there was like a lot of crashes for people. And then they like fixed it, but then they added more stuff which like broke it. Then they fixed it again. Then they added more stuff which like broke it. So then now they just need to fix it again. I think this game is going to be in a permanent state of being worked on. I don't think it's ever going to be perfect, but what I can say for sure is that the game is revolutionary, right? I don't think any other game, at least on console, is using procedural generation to this extent, to this degree. You've got 6 people in the closet in Guildford, England, that have been able to do something that would normally require a studio of 100 people or more. So, yeah, well, that's pretty much been my feelings for No Man's Sky since day one. Is it the perfect game we all thought it was going to be at launch? No. There's no other game like it, and it keeps getting better, and that's all you can ask for, especially when your minimum investment of $60 2 years ago, you're still getting a game that feels fresh all the time. They're always adding new features, new content, new things to look forward to, new missions, new storylines, new items, new possibilities. So, for the people that were in the stream earlier, for Hunter, Fallen Hunter, I hope you enjoy the game. If you ever need any help, please reach out to me. If you see me playing, please feel free to join in on my game. I will give you resources. I will give you technology. I'll do whatever I can to help you get started. And it'll be a lot easier if you move here to our hub and live amongst us, because you'll have an entire community of people that have an interest in helping you out and succeed in the game. Ryder says, I'd vacation there. Reminds me of Bora Bora. It has a tropical feel. Exactly. It's got a Bora Bora, Fiji kind of vibe to it. I did get your message, Ryder, about where your base is at, and I do want to do a stream at some point touring your base. I haven't gone to look at it yet because I haven't located a portal in this system just yet. So I just need to find a portal, put a beacon or something at it, so that I can just easily get back to it. And that goes out to Mock Tone as well, because Mock Tone has needed me to portal to a location that he can join it. I don't know if he figured it out with somebody else. Probably did, but I didn't get it done for him. So apologize for that, Mock Tone. My bad. Funny Imp says, thanks for the lurk sesh. No problem, dude. Thanks for stopping by. Real talk. See you, Sword. Slade, thank you. Robbie Bread, see you. Fallen Hunter. You go play a bit of No Man's Sky. I'll probably be on tonight, later on tonight maybe. If I see you on, hit me up. Anyway, guys, peace. Panda, out.